Hey there and welcome back to South Park: The Stick of Truth. My name is Pete and today we complete the beginning of a few more side quests as well as another part of the main quest line. Our current task in that main quest is to recruit Craig, Token and Tweek, and today we'll focus on Tweek. We visited Craig's house in the last episode, but he's currently in detention, so for the moment we have to continue with the other two. Apart from that, we have quite a few other things that we can take care of in this episode, and we'll start things off by looting the church after we found Jesus here in the last episode and also unlocked the related achievement. Up next, we will now leave the church and head back to Kevin Stoley's house. You might also remember him from the last episode. He was the kid that asked us to find and recover his dad's iPad. And we did so. The iPad was located right outside of the church, and so we can now return it to Kevin to receive our reward in the form of money, experience points and a friend request.
To get the Stick of Truth, we must recruit the Warriors 3. Well done! The galaxy is in your debt. Let it be known that I have been and will always be your friend on Facebook.
And with that, we have now completed the Vulcan Around side quest, and another reward for that, the Missile of Slowing. A ranged weapon that is definitely superior to the one that we have right now, but for the moment it is locked behind a level requirement, and we can't equip it until we have reached level 4. And we also received one more reward in the form of a patch. These can be added to both armor and weapons to give them bonus effects, but the one we just received is once again locked behind the level requirement. So that is all we can do here. We can now leave Kevin's house again and make our way back over to City Hall. That is how far we went in the last episode before returning to the church, and so today we'll simply continue where we left off.
Out of my way.
And we will do so by unlocking another achievement. For the Animal Cruelty achievement, we need to fart on animals 25 times, and since it does not have to be on 25 different animals, we can simply fart 25 times on this cat right here, and that will quickly unlock the achievement.
That one sounded like... Come on, kid. Oh!
And that's it, achievement unlocked, let's continue.
This here is the marketplace. This is where heroes can come for adventuring gear, nose jobs, and abortions.
Now this right here is an area that we will very likely have to revisit quite frequently in this playthrough, but let's still get all of the important stuff out of the way immediately. There are quite a few things that we cannot access at the moment, most importantly the rooftops, but let's make another friend and then head inside of the post office.
You must be in our little Bradley's class. I know everyone thinks their child is special, but I really think he is.
Inside we can loot and talk, but make no friends yet.
I'd love to chat, but you're unpopular.
And we can also find the key to the news office in one of the post office boxes. The other two boxes are locked, so let's head into the back, where we can find a chest and a quest item right next to it. However, we won't grab that yet because we haven't received the quest itself.
I used to be sad, but I found Jesus at the church.
Back outside, we can now head into the red building on the left, as this right here is the news office building that we just grabbed the key for.
They're gonna interview me for a piece on youth narcissism. I can't wait to read about me.
Inside, we can start things off with some loot and a friend request. There is also a Chin Pokemon in the vent that we can't get to yet, so our business is done here for the moment and we can head back outside.
I know you aren't supposed to give money to panhandlers, but this vice president kept accosting me and I felt so bad for him.
That's Butt Brady. Wait. I'll be watching you, new kid, on Facebook. I hope you post a lot of cat pictures.
Right, we just made another friend in Officer Brady, and we can now head inside of the next building. Inside we can find the key for the business office, another building that we will check out in a minute, but first let's talk to Mrs. Marsh.
Oh, hello. Are you interested in some rhinoplasty? Here's a brochure with all of Dr. Tom's rates.
And we do actually want to buy something here, it doesn't really matter what it is though. So for $2, let's get the beauty mark, and that will earn us another friend.
I'll add you to our email list. Sometimes we do 2-for-1 specials.
Now we have 18 friends and that means we have unlocked another perk, so let's once again make ourselves a tiny bit stronger. And I decided to go with the Growing Boy perk. This one is pretty straightforward, it simply increases our maximum health by 20%, and I think this is something that definitely can't hurt to have. Back outside we go and into the neighboring building. This is the business office that we just grabbed the key for. Inside, however, things are pretty uneventful.
Stop staring at me. It's creepy.
Apart from a bit of loot and a one-liner, there's absolutely nothing for us to do here, so let's exit again and continue onwards to the right. Here we have the bank, a building that we will enter in a moment, but there's also a bag hidden behind it that we will want to grab first. Inside the bank we also have a tiny bit of loot, but much more important is the following conversation.
Okay, this is a stick-up. Put all the money in a bag or I'll fucking kill each and every one. Oh, hey, all right, Benny. How's it going? Just showing the new kid around.
Hi, Butters.
Good to see you too, Butters. Thanks for checking in.
Can you keep a secret? Neither can I.
Welcome to the Bank of South Park. Would you like to invest money with us today?
And yes, we are going to invest the $20 here.
Wise move, young man, and a bold first step towards your financial future. We'll just take that money and employ significant leverage using computer-assisted high-frequency trading and index fund rebalancing to buy ahead of certain stock movements, and it's gone!
Now don't worry, this seems like a waste of money at the moment, but we will actually be able to get that money back later. I won't spoil when and how we're going to do that, but don't be afraid that we just wasted $20. I promise we will get that money back with interest.
Generally want to stay out of there if you're a fetus, yeah.
Since we're not a fetus, we will head inside of the Unplanned Parenthood building, although apart from grabbing a bit of loot, there is not much to do for us here.
Hi. Did you accidentally get someone pregnant?
Back outside, 2 elves block the path that we need to go through, so we are going to have our first fight.
Critter! Oh, it's on! Ah, shucks, when are we gonna catch a break?
As usual, we have managed to stun one of the enemies before combat starts, and we also have access to the new summon item here. With that, we could now summon Jesus to help us in this fight. I think we'll be able to manage on our own though, so let's start things off and gross out the other enemy. Afterwards then we can simply power attack away, and a few moments later the first of 2 enemies already falls.
Oh, it's on! Take that!
For enemy number 2, we will start things off with the Sling of David to do a lot of damage immediately, and then Butters can deal the final blow.
That serves him right.
Alright, quick and easy, this first fight is taken care of, we earned 5 experience points and can now loot the enemies, and then we can also head into the back and make another friend.
Let's just keep this between us, okay? Because we're such good friends.
The next building we can enter is the photo dojo, but there is absolutely nothing we can do here at the moment.
Hey, you're pretty good looking, kid. You ever think about modeling?
So after fishing for compliments a bit, let's just leave again. Now we'll head off to the right where we can find another fast travel spot as well as a hidden bag, and we'll continue in this direction, which will shortly bring us to the playground. We can't talk to anyone here and we also can't access the girls' restrooms,
Cartman gave me a swirly in that public bathroom over there one time.
but we can grab ourselves another side quest.
Come play hide and seek with us. You're it.
Playing pirate is better than being a
Vast and ready, none shall pass. I am the Pirate King.
Right, we have started the hide and seek side quest. This one rather straightforward, we only need to find the 6 children who just ran away, and they are now scattered all over town. Behind the pirate ship here there is quite a bit of loot to be found, and also something that is not quite obvious from the get-go, we can actually pick a fight with the kid in front here.
Steve! What if we just make friends instead?
And despite looking small, these children are actually not that weak. With over 100 hit points each, they are actually, at least in that regard, a bit tougher than the elves we just faced. We were also unable to stun before combat started, so let's do that now with Jiu-Jitsu, and then Butters can follow things up with his Hammer of Storms ability, which deals a lot of damage to the 2 kids in the back.
Feel my righteous fury! Hey, I blocked it!
Our opponent's attacks are then quite easily blocked, and so just a few seconds later and with barely any damage received, it's our turn again. We start things off with the Sling of David. This will take out the first opponent immediately. And then Butters can follow things up and eliminate enemy number 2 out of 3. The broadside here gives us 3 easy blocks in short succession, so we're not only getting 3 steps closer to the related achievement, but we're also ready for the final attack of this fight. And here we are, another victory earned, and we're now 5 experience points closer to leveling up, so let's loot the fallen enemies and then proceed. We have a choice between the lower pathway here and the one that goes up and then to the right, and we'll choose that last one as it allows us to find our first of 6 kindergartners.
Billy tried to steal my hidey spot, but I made him go away.
We also have another garage that we can open, this one number 9 of 15, and just by looking at it you might already be able to guess who this house belongs to. That is right, we're about to enter the home of Mr. Slave.
Hey kid, can you help me? There was a mix-up at the post office, and they accidentally gave me a package for Miss Cartman. Any chance you can go to the post office and pick up mine while I drop this one by her house?
And with that we have received the Mr. Slave's package side quest. That was the one that I quickly mentioned earlier when we were inside of the post office. His package was the one vibrating in the back, and all we have to do to complete this quest is to simply pick it up and bring it back here. Before we do that, however, let's finish looting his home, and then there are also a few other things that we want to take care of first. For example, there is a house next to Mr. Slave's that will give us an interesting view.
Some kids gave me the worst pink belly over there one time.
That house also has a garage, but opening it proves to be a bit difficult, and so we can't get in there just yet. Instead, we can continue eastwards until our path is blocked by rats, and so the only other option left is to head up.
I'll give you a good price.
This merchant here has a few items to sell. One that is of particular interest to me is the shot of a beer bottle, a patch that will help us gain PP on every melee attack, something that could go along quite nicely with our ability to regain PP every time we're attacked. It is locked behind level 3 and so we can't use it at the moment, so we won't buy it just yet, but we'll keep it in mind. Instead, we can continue past the truck and then up the pathway here. The other one is once again blocked by rats, and we soon find ourselves at the farm where the second kindergartner hides. Now we could explore a bit here, but we'll do that later. We have to return here anyway, so let's head back and then go into the back of the truck. Inside we have a hobo hiding, and we want to make sure to hit him first here before combat starts, as that allows us to strike first in combat as well.
What are we waiting for?
Now, since the hobo is actually in the second row behind 2 rats, we will use a ranged attack to start things off here. That will only do a bit of damage, but Butters can follow things up with a Hammer of Storms.
Feel that righteous fury!
Now we fail to block the rat and Butters gets grossed out, but the hobo does not attack again, and so we can now eliminate the second rat and then also drop the hobo down to low health, so next round this one should be ours.
Give me some change, goddammit!
Hey, bad guy!
Hey!
One block and then it's time to strike one last time, and we have succeeded in this one as well.
I hope we didn't hurt you too bad. Douchebag, we aren't really being good teammates here. Can we get back to the quest?
Now I have to admit this one was a bit clumsy, and having the hobo in this rather unfortunate position in the back also didn't really help. But this hobo actually counts as one of the 7 homeless camps, the camps that the mayor wants us to relocate, and with this first successful fight we are 1 out of 7. That means throughout town there are 6 more groups of homeless people that we need to defeat, and trust me, some of them will be a lot tougher than this one. Now, what we're doing right now is we're finding our way inside of the used storage facility, something we technically don't need to do right now, but we're able to get another friend and a bit more loot here, and since the loot might give us an advantage in battle and more friends means more perks, we're quickly doing this while we're here. After pressing the button here, we can't do anything else in this building, but once we're back outside, we can see the effects, the gate has opened, and we can now easily come and go. Before we leave, we want to head into the back to the storage units. There are a few that we can't open yet, but one that we can access, and that one actually seems to belong to Butters. It's the Chaos Lair.
You have tripped the mighty chaos alarm, and now the Earth shall be destroyed in 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now all these lights and electrical equipment you see are on and will never be turned off, draining the Earth's entire power supply and plunging humanity into a deep, cold darkness. Without lights or heat or computers or power, humans will be left to fend for themselves against the beasts and the elements. Humanity be damned! Hey, no reason to break his nice evil genius things. Dougie spoke of you and says you'd make a worthy ally.
Right, one more friend made. Time to loot the place.
Well, we must have stumbled upon the secret and cool lair of a super evil, super cool, super genius.
In case you don't know, the Chaos Lair is the hideout of Professor Chaos, which is the supervillain alter ego of Butters himself. From the top of the vent here, we can shoot down another Chinpokemon, and that is number 5 of 30, unlocking the Poco Chinpoko achievement. One last thing to take care of, we quickly need to head up to the rooftop, as there is another bag of loot over to the left here. Now we can't access any of the other rooftops or storage units at this point, so let's climb back down, leave the Chaos Lair and proceed with our quest. Yes, that is right, we are finally moving the main quest line forward, as one of the guys we need to recruit is Tweek, and his family's coffee shop is right over here.
Welcome to Tweek Coffee. Coffee made with ingredients supplied by local organic suppliers. It's local coffee, brewed locally. Tweek? Tweek! Have you picked up the fresh local ingredients?
Not yet, Dad. I'm still trying to do all my chores.
Well, hurry up, son. The family business is relying on you. Hello there. If you're looking for Tweek, he's in the back room, unattended. Unattended. Like a pristine meadow known only to the wild horses that graze there. Would you like to try some coffee? It's fresh, like a sun-dappled cornfield ready for harvest.
And yes, we want to buy something here, and not just anything. In fact, it's the most expensive item he has available. Doing so will earn us 2 more friends that we can't get any other way, so the $15 are expensive, but at least somewhat well spent.
That purchase qualifies you to be a friend of Tweek Coffee online. As a friend of Tweek's, you'll receive fresh, homegrown emails. Then we'll sell your information to local spammers. Sure, we could sell it to one of the big national spammers, but I guess we just care a little more.
You should try some coffee. It gives you that edge you need to stay focused at school.
What's this? Huh? Now? The guys need me now? Well, there's no way, man. It's way too much to do. How am I supposed to do all this? Wait, you! Could you go get the 4 o'clock delivery for me? If you do, I can finish here and then I'll still have time to play. Please, would you? It's at Kenny's house, like always. You give them this, they'll give you the delivery. How am I supposed to do all of this? There's no way, man. Starbucks has like 8 employees. Here it's just me.
Right, we grabbed everything we can here. There is one more chest that we don't have the key to yet, so all we can do now is leave again. Now, we won't go over to Kenny's house just yet. There is one more item we're currently missing that is very important for an achievement. Instead, let's grab ourselves another side quest.
Don't worry, I'm not here to hurt you. It's me, Al Gore. You know, Al Gore. I'm super important. All right, look. I've detected some very strange activity in this area. I believe we are dealing with ManBearPig. Yes, the ManBearPig. I know you're scared, but I need help. Take these and place them in the location specified on the ManBear map. Pig. And now I'm going to make you my friend on Facebook. This is very prestigious. You have my email now, but don't give it out to anybody. I'm super serial. Hurry! We must know if ManBearPig is here or not.
Right, and with that we just obtained the ManBearPig side quest, but as usual we're in no hurry to complete it.
This movie is really sweet. Too bad you guys can't.
Quick pause in the action, we're now about to loot the cinema, and while we do that I will stay quiet, because in the background you can hear a few movie trailers and I would like you to experience those.
You're being rude.
Carrey has a bunch of turds in his apartment. It's Jim Carrey in whatever, you'll pay to go see it. You, July 12th.
And now for your feature presentation, the classic re-release of Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back.
In this version, the word Wookiee has been changed to hair-challenged animal, and the entire cast has been digitally replaced by Ewoks. Rob Schneider is a somewhat popular comedic actor who seemed to have it all.
I am Damien, the Antichrist, the son of Satan, and I have never witnessed a thing as hideous and vile as the one you mortals call Rob Schneider.
Now he's sharing his body.
With the cinema thoroughly looted and another friend made, we can now exit again and also grab ourselves another Chinpokemon. And now it's time to head towards Token's house, as he is the only one of the 3 guys we need to recruit that we haven't interacted with at all.
This is a gated community, sir. We do not allow in the riffraff. Move along, sir. If you try again, I will pepper spray you back to the Stone Age.
Right, Token's house is guarded and we currently can't get in, but Cartman's message and the response to it actually help us out here. While Cartman is laughing about us getting pepper sprayed, there is an answer by Jimbo who mentions that he sells gas masks that render pepper spray completely harmless. So it looks like we have our next destination for this quest. Before we talk to Jimbo though, we can obtain another side quest, and if we count the 3 side quests that Al Gore will eventually give us as one big quest line, then this one will already be the 9th of 11 available side quests in this first part of the game.
Oh man, I remember getting beat up right over here. Stan one time gave me the grossest wet willy right here.
Next to the Tower of Peace, we can then also find the 3rd of 6 kindergartners.
I couldn't decide where to hide.
And the neighboring building, the City Wok, that is where we need to go for our next quest.
Goddamn Mongolians. Hey, no fighting in here. Hello, welcome to City Wok. Take an order, please. Only thing we're serving today is Mongolian beef. Mongolian beef, so good. Oh, I just love it. Oh, hello, Mongolian. Shh, Mongolians are watching. They conquered me last week. Act natural. Oh, yeah, Mongolian beef. So tasty, right? Wow. It's not tasty at all. It's gross. Don't eat it. You eat a Mongolian beef, you shit your pants for 5 days. Hello, Mongolian. Please. You gotta help me out. The Mongolians all live like rats in the Tower of a Peace next door. I'll keep the adults occupied here. You go top a tower and beat up all their kids. Beat up all the Mongolian kids. Then Mongolian think this neighborhood not a safe place. They move away. Go, beat up the little Mongolian kids. Oh, hello, Mongolian. Mongolian beef smell like a Rhino Richie's asshole.
Alright, we have received the Mongolian Beef side quest, but as usual we won't do that right away. Instead we can continue to the left and then visit Jimbo in his gun store, where we can not only find the gas mask for the main quest line, but also another side quest.
Well, hello there, Jimbo and Ned.
Well, what brings you here today? Business or pleasure? Or vengeance?
Vengeance!
You've come to the right place. Howdy there. Haven't seen you before. You must be the new kid that moved to town. And you're into hunting, huh? Well, my boy, you've come to the right place. South Park is chock full of things to shoot that would delight any taxidermist, survivalist, or weekend animal death enthusiast. Ain't much I can sell to a minor, thanks to the stupid Democrats, but if you could prove yourself a real hunter, I might be able to get you some better stuff. You should buy a copy of The Hunter's Guide to South Park Wildlife, this book thingy here.
Alright, and of course we do want to buy something here, 2 things in fact. The first one, under equipment, the gas mask for $5, as this one will help us against the pepper spray. The other item is the one that Jimbo already recommended, the Hunter's Guide to South Park Wildlife, as buying that will give us side quest number 10.
You kill anything in that guide, you come back and see old Jimbo and Ned. The best part of hunting is bragging about it to other hunters.
You remind me of a guy I served with in,
Right, we are a good 25 minutes in now, and normally I'd make the cut here, but right next door we can actually grab ourselves the last remaining side quest in this first chapter, and not only that, we can also immediately complete it. So, after finding another Chinpokemon, let's talk to Skeeter in his bar.
hell, you supposed to be some kind of knight of the round table? Welcome to ye old Skeeter's Tavern. Tell you what, good Sir Knight, I got rats in the basement. Big uns. That's why I got stuck with Her Majesty's goddamn health code violation. You think you're a real dungeon dweller? Then go clear out them rats out of my basement. Well, what are you waiting for? Make fucking haste.
Killing rats, that sounds like something we can do, so let's head into the cellar and see what we're dealing with. Now I will slightly speed up the next 4 to 5 minutes. In total there are 4 rats down here that we need to defeat, and those fights are all rather straightforward and not too challenging. Most of the time we're already halfway to victory if we manage to stun the rat before the fight actually begins, and I'm also using these fights to quickly work towards the weapon proficiency achievement. If you remember, I believe I already talked about this in the last episode. For this achievement we need to score 100 perfect hits on our opponents, and this counter can very easily be increased right here. There is a similar achievement for blocking attacks. That one is called Skilled Defender and also requires 100 perfect blocks, but we're likely not going to get much closer to that down here. By the way, those 2 achievements, that is also what the 2 counters at the top of the screen are for. The top one is for weapon proficiency, the lower one for Skilled Defender. 2 of 4 rats killed, that means we're already halfway through. And very important, let's not overlook the chest below the stairs here. First of all, we need to clear a path towards it, but then we are rewarded with a few potions and junk. The second half of the fighting then continues pretty much like the first one, and I also didn't really care about getting hit in this fight. Using our abilities, we could have probably ended 1 or 2 fights here earlier, but the most important thing for me was to quickly raise that counter for the weapon proficiency achievement, because I really want to have that out of the way as quickly as possible. Not necessarily because it gives us any sort of reward, but simply because editing in the counters is a pain in the ass, and I really hope I don't have to do that for much longer. Here you could briefly see, by the way, that we are stocked full on small health potions, which is how this game handles inventory space. Technically, you have an infinite inventory, at least in the sense that you can hold as many different items as you want. However, you can only hold a limited number of the same item. So just as an example, we already have 10 small health potions, and that means until we cut down on that number, we can't pick up any more. I think this is a smart way to handle inventory, especially since I also think this game tries to appeal to a rather casual audience, an audience that might not be too interested in micromanaging inventory space. Now, for some reason, despite using 1 potion in combat, we still can't pick up this one, so if you know why that is, then feel free to let me know in the comments, but we have now actually cleared out the cellar, so let's head back upstairs to turn in the quest and receive our reward.
Damn if you ain't a noble knight after all. Alright kid, here you go.
Alright, we earned 23 experience points, 2 friends and $2.50, and the friends also enough to unlock another perk for us. We also received another ranged weapon, the bow darts, but we can't use those until we level up. For the perk then I have decided to go with Sucker Punch. This one once again rather straightforward, it simply increases the amount of damage we deal with our first attack. And since more often than not we are in fact attacking first, this seems rather useful. Now let's go back outside, make 1 more friend, and then we'll wrap this episode up.
Who? What? Hey, I guess I hit it a little hard at the bar this morning. Thanks for waking me up, kid. You on Facebook?
Alright, I'd say that's it for today. We have managed to get a hold of all 11 side quests that are available to us at the moment, and I think in the next episode we will complete a few more of those, and maybe we'll also be able to do some recruiting. Until then, as always, leave a thumbs up if you liked this episode. If you want to support the channel, then feel free to subscribe. And of course, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.